All right, everybody, here we are. And as promised, I told you guys when we first interviewed Bob and Frank Hurley, who are cycling across America for just amazing charities. I told you that I was going to give you an update, and sure enough, here we are, Bob and Frank. Thank you so much. I know you guys have to be exhausted. I can't even imagine what you guys go through on a daily basis. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
All right, so I know that you started here and you traveled all across here and you finally made it through Texas. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
This week we crossed out of Texas into Louisiana. Big relief.
How did that feel?
It was a good feeling because for me it's kind of funny. I live in Florida and my job is the Southeast United States. So I was entering a territory that I have a lot of customers in that I'm very familiar with, and I knew I was getting a little closer to home. So that was a good feeling.
Now, do you have any customers that said they're going to come and try to find you and say hi?
I've actually texted a few of them, but they're not necessarily right on the route. There's a coworker that I'm hoping that I can get Frank introduced to on Saturday night that we're planning on meeting up with.
So how long, because Texas is like a third of the country. It's a massive state. I don't know if everybody can see it there, but it is just huge. How long did it take you to go from west to east of Texas?
Well, we took three rest days with a total of 22 days. So 19 days of pedaling, 3 rest days, total 22.
Wow, 22 days. And on average, what are you guys cycling per day?
And a 50 to 55 mile range per day.
Just the thought of that hurts my butt. I'm not gonna lie. I can't stay on a bike for that long without having that, do you guys have like special pants that you're wearing, bike shorts and that kind of thing?
Yeah, but that is probably the one area that you just can't avoid experiencing some pain.
It's a pain in the butt.
That's
Yeah.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
So you guys tell me again when you started.
We left San Diego on the 29th of September.
Wait a minute. Just let me see if I can do this. San Diego.
There it is. Yeah.
Right there. Good job.
On the 29th of September.
Yeah.
Right.
And here we are. So we're recording this on November 10th. It's going to come out on November, let me think, 11, 12, 13, 14, like 11, 14. And so you guys have been at this for almost 2 months.
Yeah.
That's right.
Are you on schedule? Are you where you wanted to be at this time?
Well, we were a little bit surprised. We were for health issues. We had to take a day or two extra off a rest day, and that was really my health issues, not Bob's. So it wasn't ours; it was Frank's health issues, and so we took an extra 2 days off in Texas or in the last week so we're a bit behind schedule.
So tell me what happened, Frank.
Well, as a young person, you can overcome a lot just by your drive. But as you get older, you have to listen more closely to your body. And I was eager to get to Austin on Friday, and I had a great day with a lot of energy. And I think I overdid it because the following Monday I started struggling. It ended up I had dehydrated my body and was diagnosed with mild pneumonia in my left lung the day before yesterday.
Wow. So is everything okay?
Yeah, they put me on antibiotics and an IV bag for to replenish my fluids to help with those issues. And yes, so I'm on the mend and I'm back in the pedals.
You're back in pedals. Did you pedal this morning?
I did.
How many miles did you do this morning?
Not a lot. It was only
I hope not.
it was 20.
Hey, you know what? 20. I still can't believe that you guys are doing this. And I know you're doing it for great causes. And I want to talk a little bit about those again. Bob, I know you're pedaling for Canine for Warriors, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that charity.
Sure. They are out of Florida, and what they do is they take rescue dogs. They train the dogs to be support to veterans that are suffering from PTSDs. They have a very organized process where once the dogs are trained, the veterans are brought into their facility. I've seen the housing setup that they have is beautiful. You know, the veterans come in, they spend 3 weeks on site with the dog. They take them out to local restaurants and supermarket, that kind of thing, training the dog and training the vet on how to use the dog as that support mechanism. And the results have been phenomenal in terms of reducing suicide. The suicide rate is, an epidemic. And just having an opportunity to meet some of those folks and talk to the way it's changed their lives, it's just a great thing to see. It's funny, yesterday I was actually pedaling and I got a call from a customer and he didn't know what I was doing. And he was kind of surprised. I was talking to him while I was pedaling. And I started telling him about the charity. And he said, one of my best friends had a service dog. And he said, in fact, he had two. And he said it was just unbelievable the impact that those dogs had on his life, So
we had a dear friend who unfortunately the dog just passed. He was a golden retriever. I think he was 10 or 11 years old, and he it was a canine for Warriors dog, and it's amazing. We take it for granted. We go out, we get a dog, we rescue a dog, but when you have these veterans that are struggling, really struggling, and to know what these dogs do for them is
Yeah.
pretty it's unbelievable. It really is outstanding, and it's awesome that you're doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, Frank, tell me a little bit about the charities you're pedaling for.
Right. So I live in Greensboro, North Carolina. The charity is called Greensboro Urban Ministries, and I work as a volunteer in their food pantry. So I'm trying to raise money for the food pantry, and they do the basic function of providing meals and meals both on site and meals to go for people in need and underprivileged in the Greensboro area.
That's awesome. How long have you been affiliated with them?
So I retired about a little over 2 years ago, and as soon as I retired, I joined that organization. I work typically 3 days a week.
Nice. And you're down in Greensboro, right?
That's right. I live there.
Yeah, and Bob, you live in Florida.
St. Augustine. Yeah.
So both you guys left Hawthorne, New Jersey. Terrible.
Why would we ever do that?
Why would you ever do that? So just so we're clear, Greensboro is
A little
somewhere
further.
around here. St. Augustine is
there you
somewhere
go.
around
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So
That's
right
right.
now, you guys, just so we're clear, you guys finished Texas. You're somewhere in this area, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so you only have like about 6 inches to go to get there.
Easy peasy.
So what is your what do you think now where you are today? What do you think your ETA is? Have you guys calculated that?
I'm still optimistic for the week of Thanksgiving.
Boy, what a great time to end that trip. I'm hoping that as you get a little closer that we can do this again, and you give us a time that we can get people out and hold a little ribbon out so you guys can and really do a big finish to this, because again, I don't know how many people do this. I mean, I really don't, and I admire what you guys have done. I know the charities are amazing, and for you guys listening, you guys watching, if you want to look it up on Facebook, it's Coast, the number 2, Coast, the number 4, charity, right? Coast to Coast.
That's right. Yeah.
You can look them up. If you want to get more information on the charities, you can go to that Facebook page and you can find the links there. And Frank, I think you had another one. Didn't you have another one for shoes?
So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Our driver, Jim, the guy driving the RV, he's got his charity, and it's called It Starts with the Shoes, and it's based in Cincinnati, and it's been in existence for a couple of years, and they provide soccer shoes to underprivileged high school students.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's great that you guys are doing that. And Cincinnati is somewhere around here. I can't, it's all
There you go.
I'm seeing the map backwards. So, and I can't see anyways. I don't have my glasses on. So it's somewhere around here. And again, you guys can look up when you go to Coast for Charity, you can look up all the charities that they're riding for. So let me talk a little bit about Jim. So Jim's riding in the Winnebago, right? It's a Winnebago.
And Winnipeg,
That's right.
It's a
In
real
fact, we
Winnebago.
are in the Winnebago right now, so you're getting to see a little bit of it.
And I know that it's not like Jim is following you 24/7. When you guys are riding, there are times when he has things that he has to do, right? Tell me a little bit about that.
yeah. So he has obligations in Cincinnati. His charity is he has commercial rental properties. He's got a wonderful wife. So he's got obligations back home that he's tending to and maintaining those obligations. And
But just, on a daily basis, he gets out of our way and lets us prep. And then he takes the time to set up a board that on that Coast to Coast for Charity site tells people what day it is for us, where we're going, how far we're planning to ride. He shoots a video of us. Typically, Frank and I will try to give the listeners something to ponder for the day, and then once we leave, he'll post that. But then he also goes through the process of breaking down the RV. He's got to disconnect the septic, the water, the electric. He's got to bring the slide in. He's got to make sure that everything with the vehicle is now ready to roll. And after he does that, then he's typically having to either find the cheapest gas or find the Walmart superstore and buy more water for us and buy, whatever things it is that Frank and I leave the list for him to pick up. So he's been a tremendous benefit. And, if people go to the site, they'll see his dog Yeti, who's also with us. Plenty of entertaining shots, and the dog is our little mascot, as you would say.
So what happens in situations like this? Let me just yeah. So what happens when things like this happen?
You're bringing up my most fond memories already. So, Frank and I, we try to be self-sufficient in terms of what we need on the bike. We've got bags, we've got tools, we carry a spare tire, and we carry several extra tubes, which is a good thing because Bob has been blowing through tubes left and right. So, the ironic thing is, yesterday when this was occurring, you and I were actually having a text conversation, and I let you know that, it was all good and that I could change out the tire, but I had forgotten to get the pump from Frank's bike.
Oh,
So
no.
even though I could change the tire, there was nowhere I could go because the tire was flat and I had no way to inflate it. So shame on me. But fortunately, Frank and Jim, they weren't necessarily close, but they were close enough and willing enough to come back and bring me the inflation device so that I could get air back in the tire.
Yeah, and just so people understand, it's not like you guys can ride on highways. You're not allowed on highways with bikes. You guys are taking all back roads pretty much, right?
Well, interstates are more restrictive. We're riding a lot of highways, and we're getting buzzed pretty good by tractor trailers. I mean, yesterday when I took that shot, you can see there's not a lot of space on that shoulder. And
No.
the there you go. The bike almost got blown over a few times, by these dump trucks. And, that stretch of road, a local gentleman actually pulled over in a pickup truck, and he explained to me that where I was riding through that day was rice fields, and they had harvested all the rice, and now they're going to flood them out, and that's where all the crawfish come from. This was all 40 plus miles of crawfish fields.
Really?
We're riding. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Why was that in Texas?
No, Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana. I mean, they're known for their crawfish.
Exactly.
40 miles of crawfish.
Yeah,
That's how you got the flat tire. You ran over one of those guys.
that could be. Yeah.
What's been the biggest? All right, so here you are. You're in Louisiana. The worst part of it, I'm gonna go back to the map so people can see. The most difficult part, I think, and again, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but the most difficult part is behind you. Not that this part is any easier, but this was a challenge. I mean, you had you had to deal with some mountains.
Right. There was a lot of elevation gain. It started immediately coming out of San Diego. Big elevation gain in California, more elevation gain in Arizona. The highest point of the trip, which was 8,800 feet, I think.
8,800.
Yeah, that was in New Mexico. And then a couple ups and downs in Texas. Yeah.
We were, I'll say, I was pretty surprised when we got into Texas. We encountered quite a bit of elevation.
I saw some of those posts. Please,
Yeah.
no more mountains. No more mountains.
I don't mean to sound like I'm whining, but boy, between the elevation changes and the wind, the day we did 108 miles, it was all up and down, and I mean extreme in both ways. But we didn't get the benefit of the down because the wind was blowing at us so strong. But then when we had to go up again, yeah, it was like hitting a wall on the way down, and it was really hitting a wall on the way up. So
You guys did 100 miles that day?
yeah,
The exact total was 108 miles. Yes.
100.
And for most of the day, we were pedaling into winds that were about 18 miles an hour.
So do you guys feel like the worst of it is behind you? I mean, obviously it's all bad. I mean, to me,
absolutely.
it's all bad. But do you feel like
Right.
the most difficult is behind you?
Right. So it's all a challenge. Yes. The thing we a little bit remain cognizant of is that we're coming into the hurricane area and the
Yeah.
hurricane season. So as we travel further east, there's a potential that we're going to have to hunker down or we may hit the outside edge of a hurricane or a storm, and it may cause more winds and heavy weather.
Yeah, or tornadoes. I mean, right now, Florida's getting hit with a hurricane, and it's supposed to come up. And then now I feel like a meteorologist. The hurricane is supposed to turn to a tropical storm and hit us right up here in the New York tri-state area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
So
imagine that's a big challenge for you guys.
so last Friday we were hunkered down. We took a rest day, and we happened to be in a county in Texas that had tornado warnings, which are more extreme than alerts. And there was, in fact, a tornado that hit in the county that we were in the RV in, which would not have been a good place to be if a tornado had come through.
So there was a tornado that hit in the same county you guys were in?
Yeah.
So you're still experiencing a lot of wind and rain and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've been pretty blessed since we got into Louisiana. The wind is still, for whatever reason, in our face, but it hasn't been as strong. It's been a little bit more humid, which is what I train in, so I feel real comfortable with that. And the road has been extremely flat and thankfully smooth.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of areas that we've come across where the road has been so, the pavement is so rough that by the end of the day, we're both like this. Our arms are shaking because it rattles you so much. But my Louisiana so far, and Frank, was with me today. The shoulder has been much smoother, and the wind has been lighter in our face so far. Now we're supposed to get a cold front this weekend. I'm not sure how that will affect us or where the winds would be coming from, but I'm guessing they'd be coming from the north. If it's Mr. Meteorologist, can you inform us on that?
The wind is going to be coming down from the north. It's going to come in from
Okay.
It's going to actually blow you guys right into Florida. So
There you go. We like that.
you're in good shape. You're in good shape. The weather's supposed to change dramatically in the next several days, and in the Northeast. Right now I'm in Chicago. I'm doing this from Chicago. And,
Oh, really? Okay.
and today is 74 degrees. Tomorrow is 38 degrees. Something crazy.
Okay.
So you're going to be getting that northeastern push of cold air,
Yeah.
and hopefully it'll be at your back. So it'll really give you guys a boost.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be excellent.
Well, again, guys, it's Coast, the number 2, Coast, the number 4 charity. Go on Facebook, check them out. You can follow their progress, give them words of encouragement. I know a lot of you, that saw this the last time. You send some words out and you send your prayers. It's not an easy thing that you guys are doing, and again, I give you a ton of respect for what you guys are doing. I know you have a lot of classmates in Hawthorne that are behind you and are wishing you well. And Frank, good to hear that you're back on track. Just don't push it. Would you drink your water? Would you?
That's right. Keep drinking the water. I've tried to tell them. Hydrate, but
I know the older brother never listens to the younger brother.
that's right.
Come on, they just don't. They're like, I know better than you do. Well, I hopefully we can talk again. When you guys are somewhere right around here. You're in some flatlands. You've got some flatlands coming up, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So hopefully we can talk before you guys get there, and then we definitely want to chat again when you guys reach your goal. So hopefully around Thanksgiving. So we'll make sure to get you guys back on here.
And your subscribers may be interested to know that we are seeing good bounce in our charitable amounts. So thanks to everyone for helping us meet and exceed our goals for the charities we represent.
That's awesome. And listen, for you guys listening and watching, it doesn't have to be $1,000 or $1 million. $1, $2, $3. You have change. You have change in your money drawer. You have change in your ashtray. It all helps. It all helps. And I think oftentimes, people feel like, oh, I just don't. And I know it's tough times. It's with inflation and everything else going on. It's tough times. It's tough times for everybody. So the fact that your food pantry is doing what they're doing, and Canine for Warriors are doing what they're doing. So it doesn't, it could be $1, could be a couple of bucks. It all helps. If you have 1,000 people each giving $2, that's, it's a considerable amount of money, and it goes to, it reaches wide. It's not, it really, the ripple effect and the amount of people that those type of donations, any type of donation helps. So I encourage all you guys to give what you can, and make sure you go on the Facebook page, make sure you encourage them and give them words of love and prayers. And you guys are taking a monumental task, and it's this, right here to here. It doesn't look like a lot, but I'm sure you guys are feeling it.
It feels like a lot.
It is. Thank you guys so much for letting us back into your lives and sharing some of your stories. Frank, again, I wish you health, both you guys, and we'll talk again real soon.
All right.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate all your support.
All right, don't go away. I'm gonna sign off and then I'll come back to you guys. So
Okay.
again, it's Coast, the number 2, Coast, the number 4 charity. Go on, send them a word of encouragement, send them your prayers, donations, and we'll see them in a couple of weeks. We'll see them rolling into St. Augustine, Florida. All right, be well, everybody.